Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Tavolilla. This is Grant Putnam here. It's Sunday about 2 o'clock. I figured I'd take one more crack out of this in regards to revising the proposal. Okay. So, overall scheme, when you end up choosing to use slow growing evergreens such as taxus or such as boxwood, if you get them at a decent size, then they tend to be very expensive. A ground cover scheme slash evergreen hedge screen is pretty much the most expensive route you can go for per square foot for landscaping. So what I did was in this last revision that I'm going to show you, the thought is we're still going to keep that same scheme, but then prioritize where we're using the evergreens and prioritize where we're putting in the ground cover. All right, and this way we can reduce your cost by roughly 10 grand and stay within budget. So it still gives you that aesthetic that you're going for, but just a little bit smarter as far as how we're allocating the funds and where we're putting the plants. Okay, so the most recent proposal, let's see here. The most recent proposal that I sent you was about 49,000. Okay, with not including the irrigation. The proposal I sent you prior in beginning of June, which you guys were interested in, was about 38,300. And that again was without irrigation costs. Okay. So what I did was I was able to get the proposal I just worked on, including irrigation, down to 42,000. Irrigation was roughly $4,500, $5,000. Okay, so again, it takes your cost back to what we originally were thinking. Okay, and the original quote, just so you know, it didn't include lawn renovation. So this quote that I'm going to talk about now includes everything you need outside of the optional amenity item of installing outdoor lights, which you might consider doing yourself. If you decide to use me, then I'll sell you the lights at my cost, and you can install them yourself. Okay, they're brass fixtures, low voltage lights running off a transformer with LED lamps. All right, so again, this 42,000 is all in, including the irrigation, including lawn, all the plants, guarantee, masonry, the whole spiel. Okay, so one thing I do want to point out is that in this proposal, what I did was I also discounted the irrigation. I discounted the masonry items, so I'm basically charging you at my cost, because on overall net profit for the year, landscapers make 10%. So I'm hoping to make 10% on your project all in. But essentially for the masonry, which is your stepping stone pathways, and your aluminum edging going on one side of the deck, you'll notice at the bottom of the proposal, I have that, I'll show you that. I have this discount scheduled, okay, and essentially giving you a $600 discount on the irrigation, $400 discount on the stepping stones, which basically means I'm doing it at my cost. I'm not looking to make any money on that. Aluminum edging, I give you a $300 discount, same thing, doing it at my cost. And the last offer as an incentive, I say, look, if we're already there, I'll do the rest of the lawn renovation, which means like core aerating, seeding, the rest of the lawn also at my cost. That cost is not yet included, but we'd have to survey the property one more time to check to see what's entailed with that. But again, I'll do it at my cost, so I'm not looking to make any money on it. Okay. So going back to the design and how I modified the design to try to meet a reasonable budget and how to spend your money smart. Okay. In this area here, the original designer, architect, had slow growing taxus going through there. My thinking is, okay, there's a fence right there, There's a fence right here, and the fence is 6 feet tall. If you plant a slow-growing evergreen, it only grows 4 inches a year. It's going to take a lot of years before you get some coverage against that fence, which I think is something I wouldn't want to be looking at all season. So my other better suggestion, I think, is in this area using a hedge of hydrangeas. So these will give you flowers all summer. The only maintenance you're going to have to do is cut these back early spring, and they bloom again all summer. So it's a pretty popular plant. We use it a lot for this type of idea against a fence, and they grow much quicker, so you'll get more immediate coverage right away. They grow like 3 times as fast, or maybe even faster. They'll put about 1.5 to 2 feet of growth on per year, versus the boxwoods or the yew, which is a slow-growing evergreen, only grows about 4 inches a year after you maintain it. Now, if you did plant the boxwood, you're still going to have to trim them. So the maintenance cost is the same. It's just that this gives you more of immediate presence, and I think I like to have the color there. And it fits in with that hedgy look, which is what you're going for. Okay, so that's a suggestion. That would be a big cost savings using those here. Okay, over here, again, originally we had boxwoods. And if I'm looking at the quote, okay. The other option is using euonymus Manhattan, which is also, you can grow into a hedge. But we can get that in a 3-gallon size, and it's going to be cheaper than putting in all the green velvet boxwood. So they grow, the Manhattan euonymus grows a little bit faster, probably twice as fast as the boxwood. So again, you get more of an immediate hedge right away. So I thought it would be another good option. Let me show you a picture of that. Oh, one sec. Oops, not that. There we go. Here we go. Let me show you a picture of that. That's not a great picture. All right, one second. One sec. I'm gonna put the phone down just to type this in. One sec. Okay. So this is a Manhattan euonymus hedge, and let's see if I find a good picture. So it's gonna look something like that. Again, all right, and a closer picture, something like this. That's a better picture. All right, so it forms a hedge, and it's just a more cost-effective option than using a slower growing boxwood. Okay, so let's go back to here. All right, so those 2 changes would save a ton of money, and it still gives you, again, that hedgy look. I dropped this size and the horn beams just slightly over here, so they still have a nice aesthetic, yet a little bit smaller, again, cost savings. Okay, I dropped the size just slightly on the hydrangea trees. Okay, I've got pictures of both of these. If you'd like, I can send those to you. They're still really nice, but again, it's just a cost savings. The boxwoods in the front, I dropped the sizes, so rather than doing like 35 to 37 inch, we dropped it down to 30 inch. And then same thing in the green velvet, rather than going something that mature, dropped it down to 20 inch. And the American boxwood, the 4 big ones, we dropped those down to the 35 to 37 range. So it still gives you the same aesthetic. It's just that there's a big price difference in the cost, because again, they only grow 4 inches a year. So every single time the boxwoods grow 4 inches, the grower has to hold them longer, and hence they're a lot more expensive. So again, that was a big cost savings, but again, the design was not changed. As far as ground cover goes, I reduced the ground cover for the Liriope by about half. So we can more strategically use the Liriope versus put it everywhere, which I think, again, is just a little cost absorbent. My thinking is don't use the Liriope back here, because I'd rather actually see more lawn. So you have a little bit more lawn space. I think it would be nice to have next to the pool. And again, it'd be a decent cost savings. Okay. So those are pretty much all the changes. Again, so we're everything else is the same. I've got I've got everything else in the design the same as it was before. This design I sent over to you on the last email with the last quote. But again, by doing that, let's see, the irrigation cost, let's just check something here. For the irrigation, I'm going to send you a schematic showing you where all the heads are located, but you need roughly 41 to 42 heads, two drip line zones for the plants. It was about $5,910, but I'm going to save you $600 because again, my strategy here is, okay, I'm going to give you a discount on the irrigation and also all the masonry related projects. Okay, so after discount, it's $600 less, so it's $53.10. Okay, which I know would be a great value for doing the irrigation. All right, so if you look at the overall numbers again, let's just see here. Overall numbers, you're at $41,200, including the roughly $5,500 of irrigation cost. So you're down to about $35,000 plus irrigation. All right, and that includes the lawn. The lawn, from a cost savings, rather than doing sod, because sod obviously makes it more expensive. Sod was like, I believe, a $3,100 option. If you seed it, you'll be down to, that only costs about $400. So if we seed it and we spread leaf compost on top of the seed, which gives you a much better germination rate, throwing seed just down on top of the soil has very poor results. So when you bury the seed with about a 1/4 inch of leaf compost, the results are a massive difference. So if you wanted to wait to do this until September, you could do the seed route, and then you'll save $2,700 in that. That's included with that savings is already taken into account within this $41,200. So again, we save money there as well. So anyways, I just figured I'd shoot this over to you. More than welcome to go take a look at a bunch of the projects that we're doing now to get a sense of the quality of work. And then, of course, you can call those people up and ask them about our professionalism, level of detail, level of expertise. Something like this, everything has to be done exactly right. You got to have exact drainage. You got to have exact pitch to the lawn. Plants have to be put in the exact correct location. So, and the bigger thing is that my competitors won't be able to get the same boxwoods because they'd have to go buy them locally, and I'm buying them right from the grower out of North Carolina, and I had to pre-purchase them this year to actually get the best quality. So most of the boxwoods you're going to find locally are going to be West Coast grown, and West Coast boxwoods have a different soil type, so a lot of times they'll all turn yellow come the end of the, come about a year later because they're grown on the West Coast versus the East Coast. So we put $20,000 up front with our grower out of North Carolina. Is the only way we could make sure we got boxwoods this year, American boxwoods, because it's such a shortage. So, and again, if you go look at the pictures on our website or go look at some of the projects we just completed, you'll see there's a massive difference in quality with our boxwood versus others. So, I would suggest going by and taking a look at a bunch of the projects that we've done and get a sense of the quality that we're offering. So that's it. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.